Chapter 12. True Dragon enters the palace. Envy Ghost. The victory at Jinti City made the reputation of the Wagang army resound far and wide. But after observing the celestial phenomenon, Duke Mao gathered his brothers. Duke Mao. Seriously, brothers, Wagang has a dangerous terrain, but it is not the land of the Emperor. The Purple Star Emperor has appeared in Taiyuan. The true Destiny Emperor is the second son of the Tang Dynasty, Li Shimin. If we want to establish a great cause and save all living beings, we must return to the right leader. Qin Shubao and the heroes all nodded in agreement upon hearing this. They understood that they were stars, and stars must revolve around the sun. After a while of discussion, they decided to leave Wadden, leading their troops and horses, and find a way to assist Li Shimin. Meanwhile, Li Yuan's army, under the skillful command of Li Shimin, won every battle, advancing straight to the capital Chang'an. The day the Tang army entered the city, a magnificent scene occurred. When Li Shimin's horse hooves passed through the city gate, the entire dragon vein of the thousand-year-old capital suddenly awakened. A huge stream of air, purple air, invisible to the naked eye, surged up from the ground, enveloped Li Shimin, and then spread throughout the city. The entire capital seemed to be bathed in the light of an emperor. Standing on the city wall, Duke Mao of Sui, who had just arrived, saw that scene and could not help but smile. Duke Mao of Sui, speaking to himself. That's right. The purple star of the emperor has entered the palace. The prosperity of the great Tang is certain, but beside the light, I see a shadow of jealousy forming. This is the Li family's calamity. It was indeed so. The eldest brother, Crown Prince Li Jiansheng, who was also a cultivator, saw that the purple aura was not directed towards his father, nor towards himself, but instead wrapped around his younger brother. Jealousy suddenly arose like a poisonous snake, tearing at his heart. Li Jiansheng, whispering to a trusted eunuch, his voice filled with jealousy. Why? Why is all the glory shining on the second brother? I am the eldest son, the crown prince. What true mandate of heaven... I don't believe it. I won't let him take away what belongs to me. That eunuch lowered his head. A dark glint flashed in his eyes. He was originally a little demon sent by the Ji sect, specializing in using words to incite people's jealousy and ambition. A seed of mutual destruction was sown on the day of great victory. The Tyrant's end. Jiangdu atones when the heroes of Wagong submitted to the Tang Dynasty. When Li Shimin won consecutive victories, news of defeat from all over flew to Jiangdu like a snowstorm. Emperor Sui Yang at this time no longer cared about worldly affairs. He was immersed in wine and women day and night, completely manipulated by the dragon national teacher. Seeing that the situation in the north was beyond saving, and that the dragon energy in Chang'an and Luoyang was exhausted, the dragon national teacher immediately devised a final plan. The national teacher, in a flattering, sinister tone, Your Majesty, the north is full of rebellious bandits, not worth your dragon body's concern. This Jiangdu has beautiful scenery, and is also where the dragon veins of the Grand Canal converge. The resentment of millions of laborers can be transformed into boundless magic power for us. Please stay here, build a paradise on earth, and let the northern bandits kill each other. Emperor Sui Yang, whose mind was already corroded by demonic energy, laughed loudly upon hearing this. Emperor Sui Yang, in a crazy voice, Yes, you are absolutely right. I am the emperor, wherever I am. That is the capital. Pass down the order, build more dungeons, recruit more beauties. I want to turn this place into a fairyland. He completely ignored the country that was engulfed in flames. Meanwhile, the generals who followed him, headed by Yuan Huaji, were all from the north. They waited day and night for news of their homeland, worried about their parents, wives and children, but Emperor Sui Yang forbade anyone from returning. The soldiers' resentment had reached its peak. One night, Yuan Huaji secretly gathered his trusted generals. Wu Van Ho Cap, low voice full of indignation. "Brothers, the tyrant is immoral, abandoning the country, leaving us stranded in this foreign land. Our homeland is in Quantrong. We don't know whether our parents, wives, and children are alive or dead. If we don't find our own way back, I'm afraid we'll have to become hungry ghosts in this Jiangnan." The general drew his sword and slammed it on the table. The general said, "Great General, just give the order. We'd rather die on the way back home than rot here." Lu Van Ho Cap, "Good. Tonight we'll act. Kill the tyrant. Return to our homeland." That night, Wu Van Ho Cap's soldiers launched a mutiny. They quickly took over the palace. The Dragon National Teacher sensed the murderous aura and knew that the fate of Sui Yang Emperor had come to an end. So without a word of farewell, he turned into a plume of black smoke and flew away, leaving behind the puppet king he had set up. When Yuan Huaji led his soldiers into the palace, Emperor Sui Yang was holding a beautiful woman and drinking wine. Seeing the soldiers with shining swords and spears, he was so scared that he fell to the ground. Emperor Sui Yang, voice trembling, "Yuan Huaji, you dare to rebel? I am the emperor." Yuan Huaji looked at him with contempt, cold as ice. "Yuan Huaji, you are no longer the emperor. You are just a dictator, a person who has been abandoned by heaven, earth, and people. I will not kill you. I will only carry out the will of heaven. End things yourself to save your last bit of dignity." Knowing that he could not escape, Emperor Sui Yang trembled as he looked at the white silk that the soldiers gave him. He remembered that in the past, he had also used a white silk to strangle his brother to death. This was retribution. He muttered to himself, "What crime have I committed against the people that they treat me like this?" Then he hung himself, ending a life of sin. The moment Emperor Yang of Sui died, a huge column of black gas that had been covering Jiangdu for so long suddenly dissipated. The sky became unusually clear. At the same time, in Chang'an, Li Yuan was sitting in the palace when he suddenly saw the imperial jade seal on the table suddenly emit a brilliant light. The news of Emperor Yang of Sui's death quickly spread. Li Yuan, with the support of all civil and military officials and following the will of heaven, officially ascended the throne, establishing the great Tang Dynasty. The mandate of heaven had officially changed hands. The war against the Sui dynasty had ended, but the struggle for power and new tragedies had just begun. Chapter 13. The divine generals confront. Enemies meet after the Tang dynasty established its capital in Chang'an. Li Shimin was appointed king of Qin, leading the army to suppress the rebellions of the various rebel kings. He subdued the Wagang brothers, like a tiger with wings, winning every battle. But soon, the Tang army encountered a formidable opponent. That was Yuan Chengdu, a great general of the Sui dynasty, son of the treacherous minister Yuan Huaji. He was known as the invincible general of heavenly treasures. In his previous life, he was a thunder god in the sky, but because of his mistakes, he was banished to the mortal world. His weapon was the phoenix-winged golden spear, a magical treasure that could summon thunder and lightning. On the battlefield, Yuan Chengdu rode alone, charging left and right, and with every swing of the golden spear in his hand, thunder and lightning would strike down, unbeatable. The generals of Wagang, such as Qin Shubao and Luo Cheng, came out to fight one after another, but were all repelled. The Tang army suffered heavy losses. Li Shimin saw the dire situation and personally went into battle. But how could Lei Shen let Di Xing threaten him? Yuan Chengdu used all his strength. A thunderbolt struck straight at Li Shimin. At the moment when life and death were hanging by a thread, a young but powerful shout rang out. Li Yuanma. Naive voice. Second brother, I'm here. Only to see a small figure riding a 1,000-mile bloodthirsty horse, holding a pair of thunder-ancient golden hammers, rushing over like a whirlwind. That was Li Yuanma. He used one hammer to deflect Yuan Chengdu's thunderbolt. The other hammer struck straight at him. Boom! The golden-winged bird faced Lei Shen. The power of the divine beast and the power of the heavenly thunder collided, creating a terrifying explosion. The ground shook, the sky and earth darkened. Yuan Chengdu was sent flying off his horse, the golden spear flying far away. He looked at the boy in front of him in horror. Yuan Chengdu. You ... who are you? Li Yuanba did not reply, only grinned, raising his pair of hammers to finish off his opponent. But when his eyes landed on the golden phoenix, he suddenly stopped. He saw the exquisitely carved golden phoenix on it. Li Yuanba, scratching his head, his voice confused. You, H? Master told me not to kill people using weapons with the golden bird. Okay, no more fighting. So boring. After saying that, he jumped off his horse, picked up Yuan Chengdu's golden hammer, looked at it like a new toy, then turned around and left, ignoring the stunned battlefield. Yuan Chengdu narrowly escaped death, but his spirit was severely damaged. He knew he had encountered an existence that could not be defeated. The battle ended with a strange victory for the Tang army, and the name Lai Nuyen Ba, from then on, became a terror, an undefeated legend in the hearts of all enemies. Chapter 14. The Black Evil Star appears. The twins meet the divine whip as the righteous stars gathered under the command of King Qin Li Shimin. On the opposing side, demonic forces and vicious stars also began to appear to block the path of heaven's mandate. Among them, the most terrifying one was a great general of Lu Wuzhou, one of the rebel kings. This person's name was Yuchi Gong. He was not an ordinary person, but a black evil star descended from the sky. This star was the master of war and death, hot-tempered by nature, and had unparalleled strength. His weapon was a steel whip, which was originally a piece of the spine of a black dragon, struck to death by lightning, capable of absorbing the murderous aura on the battlefield, becoming stronger the more he fought. Yuchi Gong appeared like a nightmare for the Tang army. He rode alone into the battlefield, the steel whip in his hand waving, creating a pitch-black tornado. Anyone caught in that whirlwind would lose their souls and die without a whole body. The Tang army lost battle after battle. Even the generals of the Wagang could not stop his ferocious power. In one battle, Yuchi Gong broke through the siege and charged straight towards Li Shimin. Yuchi Gong. His voice was as loud as thunder. Li Shimin, I heard that you are the true mandate of heaven. Today I have come to see what kind of ability you have. Hurry up and give up your life. He swung his steel whip, and a powerful black aura struck straight towards the king of Qin. At that moment, Qin Shu Bao rode his horse over, using his pair of golden swords to block the attack. The background music played dramatically. The sound of metal colliding shook the heavens and the earth. Kang! A terrifying explosion rang out. The golden light of Wu Ku Xing Jun and the black aura of He Sha Xing collided with each other. Both of them felt a huge force reverberate, forcing their horses to retreat several steps. Yuchi Gong looked at Qin Shu Bao, his eyes filled with surprise. Yuchi Gong, who are you to be able to withstand one of my whips? Qin Shu Bao, a calm, righteous voice. I am Qin Shu Bao. Evil demons, how dare you offend the leader? Yuchi Gong. Qin Shu Bao? Ha ha ha. I've heard of your name for a long time. Then today, let's have a match between you and me. Two divine generals, one righteous and one evil, charged at each other. On one side was a pair of brilliant golden whips. Each strike carried the demon-suppressing power of the heavens. On the other side was a pitch-black steel whip. Each swing carried the murderous aura of the battlefield and the resentment of the Black Dragon. The confrontation between them was not just about martial arts, but a battle between two opposing divine powers. Chapter 15. Dragon fights Tiger. Emperor Star subdues fierce general. The entire battlefield seemed to stop to witness the dragon fight. Qin Shubao and Yu Qigong fought for 300 rounds. The sky and earth were dark. Sand and rocks flew, but there was still no winner. Their strength was equal. One represented protection, the other represented destruction. Su Mao's Gong stood on the high platform observing, worried in his heart. Su Mao Gong, speaking to Li Shimin. Qin Wang, this is not good. These two star generals are equally strong. If they continue to fight, I'm afraid both will suffer. He Shaoxin is fierce, but he is not a great villain. He is just hot-tempered. His mind is clouded by murderous aura. Only your imperial aura can influence him. Li Shimin heard this and nodded. He spurred his horse, charging straight into the middle of the battle between the two. Li Shimin. His voice was not loud, but it was full of majesty, echoing throughout the battlefield. Two generals, please stop. A purple death aura radiated from Li Shimin's body, gentle but powerful, separating the two. Both Qin Shubao and Yu Qigong felt the weapons in their hands become heavy, unable to lift them anymore. Yu Qigong looked at Li Shimin in surprise. The dark and ferocious aura in his body suddenly calmed down when he encountered this pure imperial aura. Li Shimin. General Yu Qi, I know you are a great hero, but Lu Wuzhou is just an ordinary person, not a leader. If you follow him, it is no different from a precious jade falling into a mud puddle. Your talent should be used to quell demons and bring peace to the people, not to serve the ambitions of a common man. He looked straight into Yu Qigong's eyes, his voice sincere. Li Shimin, I don't want to confront you. I want to invite you to join me in building a new dynasty. A world where heroes like you will be respected and the people will live in peace. Are you willing? Li Shimin's every word was like the sound of a temple bell, hitting straight into He Shaoxing's mind. The murderous aura in Yu Qigong's heart gradually dissipated, leaving only admiration and shock. He looked at Li Shimin, then at Qin Shubao, who was also looking at him with respect. Finally, he threw the steel whip to the ground, jumped off his horse, and knelt on one knee. Yu Qigong. His voice was no longer fierce, but filled with gratitude. Qin Wang, you are truly the true mandate of heaven. This Yu Qigong has no eyes, almost going against the mandate of heaven. From now on, I am willing to risk my life to follow and assist you. Li Shimin hurriedly got off his horse and personally helped Yu Qigong up. Li Shimin, with the general, my great cause will surely be accomplished. Thus, with the demeanor of an emperor, Li Shimin did not need to use weapons to subdue one of the most powerful generals in the world. From a fearsome rival, Yu Qigong became one of the most loyal protectors of the Tang Dynasty. He and Qin Shubao later became the two gate gods guarding the gates of the human world, a legendary story that will last for thousands of years to come. The storm on the shore of Hongha that year, the world was in turmoil, and armies rose like clouds. Wang Shikong's faction took over Luoyang, claiming to be the hegemon, challenging the young Tang Dynasty. To suppress it, Emperor Taizu of Tang ordered the generals to take the lead. In the ranks, Qin Shubao, Qing Jijin, and now Luo Cheng, three newly sworn heroes, were ordered to charge into the front lines. News spread. Wang Shikong sent out a great general, Yuan Chengdu, wearing golden armor, swinging a 1,000-pound spear in his hand, majestic and imposing. It was rumored that, in the world, it is difficult for anyone to withstand 10 rounds of Yuan. The first act. Both sides lined up, the war drums pounding like thunder. Yuan Chengdu spurred his horse out, shouting loudly, "Who dares to fight me to the death?" Qin Shubao spurred his horse out, his twin spears brandishing, the wind whistling like thunder. The two sides charged forward, their weapons clashing fiercely, their war horses neighing loudly. 10 rounds passed, with no clear winner. Cheng Zhaojing laughed heartily, brandishing his hammer and charging forward. "Good man. Try this old Cheng's 3 hammers." Only to hear clang, clang. The 3 hammers were like 3 mountains collapsing. Yuan Chengdu, despite his divine power, had to retreat 3 steps, his face pale, but he still roared loudly. Very good, but not enough. The entire battlefield held its breath. The spear light was like lightning at that moment. Luo Cheng urged his white horse forward, his voice resounding like a bronze bell. "You 2 brothers rest. Let me try my strength." Only to see the white horse galloping like the wind, the long spear sweeping across like thunder. Yuan Chengdu swung his snake spear to meet, but in the blink of an eye, Luo Cheng's spear had already passed through the gap, piercing straight into the armor. Boom! An explosion like the sky and earth shaking. The golden armor cracked. Yuan Chengdu fell off his saddle, clutching his chest and spitting blood. Both armies roared like thunder. Everyone shouted, "One spear Luo Cheng! One spear Luo Cheng!" The 3 heroes united in righteousness, as firm as iron that battle. The Tang army won a great victory. In the camp, the 3 raised their cups, their blood boiling. Qin Shubao praised, "With the virtuous brother Luo Cheng, the 3 of us together, the world will surely change." Cheng Zhaojing laughed loudly. "In the future, we will roam the world. Who will dare to stop us?" La Sheng bowed his head. "To be sworn brothers, even if my bones and flesh are crushed, I am still happy." The moonlight shone down on the camp. The 3 heroes sat side by side. Their shadows cast long shadows on the ground. From then on, the folklore said, the twin spears of Qin Shubao, the thunder hammer of Cheng Shujin, the single spear of Luo Cheng, 3 heroes that heaven and earth cannot separate.